Our speaker, Reverend Julianne. Please welcome her. Big round of applause. Playful creativity. Creating is inventing, experimenting, growing, taking risks, breaking rules, making mistakes, and having fun. Isn't that amazing?
You know, if we stop for just a moment and we recognize that within us is that virtual spiritual energy, it's a quickening within each of us. It's expressed through you and, yes, through me. What it does is it calls us into action. And because this comes through our human self, this expression is personally influenced and, yes, individualized. It's ours to share. Now, for a lot of us, sharing these ideas, sharing these thoughts, sharing this energy is a little overwhelming. And what do? We hesitate. Maybe we even set it aside or block it. If we do that, we must remember that it is not shared with someone else, and our world will not be gifted by it. It is ours individually. It is who we are guided to share. And whether we share it or not is our choice. So here we go. It's up to you and me to judge how good it is, how valuable it may or not be, how it compares to other people and how they express their creativity. Now, what we're doing here is we're sharing distress. We're sharing self-judgment. And that is going to manifest conflict. You see, I believe it's our responsibility to respond with God's ability and affirm and share our creativity, to do so clearly and directly, to keep that channel of creativity open within us and not block it. Not block it with the conflict. Is it good enough? Am I good enough? A Course in Miracles actually shares that conflict is sleep and peace is awakening. If you stop and think for just a moment, the presence of God, the presence of love is within each and every one of us. And we can release that conflict from our mind and open our heart. And when we do so, we awaken to the peace that is within us. Now, there's something else very important from my perception, and that is that love is the sole emotion of heaven. And love is also peace and joy. So when we are sharing our creativity, when we are sharing our peace, and we are sharing our joy, we are love. You see, some of our creative energy is expressed through different ways. I mean, some energy reads like poetry. Some sounds like music. Some appears like photography or an acrylic work of art. There are other forms of art, and so much of it can be so different. Being a teacher, landscaping the front yard, cooking a tasty meal, giving ourselves permission to give a massage, to paint a house, to styling hair. I remember building sandcastles as a kid when we would spend the summers in Sarasota, Florida. And we would be on the beach, and I would build those sandcastles. And to me, they were large, and they were beautiful, and they were wonderful. And one day, my dad came up to me, and he said, "You need to move them back so that they last longer, because the water will come and wash them away." And I looked at him, and I said, "Dad, when the water washes them away, I will get a new one made." And it so impacted my dad that he actually made a note on a cocktail napkin that he had his Bloody Mary sitting on. And he saved it for years and gave it to me. He said the sandcastles never go away. And I think that this is a real important thing for us to stop and think about when it comes to creativity. You know, last year, well, actually this year was on New Year's Eve. And as many of you know, Tom Moore has always done an annual New Year's Eve musical meditation. And it is so beautiful and so wonderful. And I look forward to it. Well, this year, Danita came in with her 5-year-old. And Danita was looking forward to this meditation. And Matthew was not particularly excited about it. So I took Matthew into the kids' room, and his mother went into the meditation. And I said to Matthew, I said, "What shall we do?" And he said, "You sit down and watch me. I'm going to make something." And I said, "Okay, that's great." And he got all the blocks out, and he started building this building, one block after another, telling me how big it was, telling me where the larger ones needed to go, telling me where the smaller ones needed to go, and topping it off with a triangle, telling me all these different terms and explaining why the colors were important and so forth. And I felt like this child's imagination was growing within me, was being shared within me, and that I was truly being blessed by doing as he asked, listening. And then he said, "Well, don't you have your phone with you?" And I said, "Well, yes, I do." And he said, "Well, why aren't you taking pictures?" In other words, what he was doing was he was showing me his art, his work, his energy, and then asking me to share mine. And after I did so, and he said, "Now my mom will see what we did together." And when he said that, I got God bumps. I truly did. I felt his creativity. I felt his energy. I felt his love. And I knew it was one with me. Listening, sharing, laughing together was a gift of creativity. It was playful. It was fun. And now, all these months later, I still remember it with that inner joy. You know, Mother Teresa often said, "Make something beautiful for God." I look back on it, that's exactly what that block building was. It was something beautiful for God because it joined Matthew and I together. With the seeming challenges in our world right now, is there anything more important for us to do? Making something beautiful is created through sharing love. Love, yes, for all the human race. Love for each other. Creativity is found in so many different forms, and we all know that. We look at it from the social and emotional mindfulness of how we interact with each other, to the expertise of athletic skill, or to all the forms of artistic expression. And we are called to attention to the fact that on this planet, you and I, each of us, are spiritual beings having a human experience. And because we are on this planet, we are called to keep our channel, our light, open for a unique creativity, a unique expression of that creativity. And as we do so, our imagination is ready to be expressed with and through each one of us. We're here to make and to share beauty because that is sharing love. That is making something beautiful for God. Now, if we don't do that, how can we be truly helpful? If we don't do that, how can we build a better world? What I'm saying is that if we do so with commitment and we do so with a little bit of a playful attitude, as the Unity Affirmation for this month shares, I play in the zone, free and unrestrained. What if we were open to freely share our creativity without the restraint, without the conflict, without any sense of self-judgment? What if we chose a daily practice of asking for and accepting divine guidance, divine direction as to how to share it, as to how to present it, as to how to be with it? Wouldn't we then experience and share the blessings of our divine spiritual nature? Wouldn't we then confirm and affirm our spiritual attributes, our wisdom, our love, our imagination and understanding, order and zeal, and oh, yes, more? The word practice, I think, is exceptionally important for us because what we do is almost more important than what we say we believe. It's very interesting. This year, with being at home more and looking for something to do differently, I increased the amount of my coloring. Yes, I color. I did as a kid. I was told I wasn't good at it because I didn't color within the lines and I didn't know what colors to put together. And I was told all those different things. So what I used to do was go into my closet in my bedroom, use a flashlight and color. And then when I was done, I would take those colorings and I would cut them up and throw them away. So nobody but me would see them. Now I use my phone and I color. And yes, I actually share them. Not with everybody, not all the time. But the other day I sent a coloring to Chaplain Lori Elward. And you know what she said to me? She said, "You just keep getting better and better at this." And I probably smiled for a half hour. But behavior is believable. Practice strengthens that behavior. And practice also makes us feel more grateful, more alive, more ourselves, and yes, more connected with other people. Well, if you stop and just ask yourself, what people, places, or things do you need more of or less of to make time and space for your creative energy? So, there's so many opportunities for us. Most of us are fortunate enough to frequently have access to a shower, a cascade of warm water that just feels good. And I always think of a shower as an invitation to gratitude, an invitation to release and renewal, kind of like maybe like a baptism, actually. I'll go into that shower and I'll say, I bless my body and my body blesses me. I affirm my wellness, my health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I understand that there are many invitations to share blessings. For example, walking your fur kid. Just taking that fur kid for a walk, looking out at the sunshine, looking out at the different homes, sharing the beauty, and watching that fur kid have fun. Coming home, cooking a meal, maybe trying a recipe that you haven't tried in years or never have tried, and other everyday activities. We can see these as spiritual experiences. We can see them as an opportunity to share our inner creativity. Right now we're called to wash our hands. Most of us are washing our hands probably more than we ever have in our life, except we probably still don't as much as Reverend Hal Lafler did. As many of you know, Reverend Hal was a very strong teacher, mentor in my life. And one of the things when we were working together in his church in an office, his office was to the left. I was kind of working as a receptionist, as a volunteer. And I noticed one day that the man was going in and out of the bathroom so many times. He'd have a phone call, he'd get up and he'd go in the bathroom. Somebody would come in to see him. After they left, he'd get up and go into the bathroom, back and forth all day long. And so finally what I did, I asked him, I said, Hal, are you feeling okay? And they said, of course I am. Life is good. And I said, okay. I said, excuse me, but you've been going back and forth to the bathroom, and I was getting worried. And he said, I go back and forth into the bathroom to wash my hands. I said, after you've talked on the phone? He said, yes. I said, after you've talked to somebody in counseling? He said, yes. I said, after you emptied the wastebasket? He said, yes. I said, after you and I talked about answering a question that I had? He said, yes. I said, I don't get it. He said, most people don't. But he said, when you have these practices in your life, that you go and you wash your hands, and when you do so, you release and let go, and you begin afresh and anew. And for me, he said, that's a creative practice because I am present to the next opportunity and I am in the now moment. Washing hands. We're doing that a lot now. Maybe think about it from that perspective with a little bit more creativity, your creativity included in it. You know, our imagination can work wonders for us. I realized the other day that I cannot peruse my imagination as I do the contents of my checkbook. I really can't. I can't begin to. What appears in my imagination will often take me off guard. I kind of think of it as a summer monsoon flood where all of a sudden the street is flooded and we haven't had rain in months. I can ask for water, but I don't seem to be able to make it rain. I can work on my Sunday messages, but I cannot program more than a single sentence days ahead of time. For me, it's the day of or the day before. And even coming up with a topic 2 weeks ahead of time is a challenge for me. Why? Because over 33 years of ministry, I have learned that when it comes, it comes. You know, as Manny was talking about from the Daily Word, that divine guidance, when it comes, it comes. I just have to be open to receive it. It comes from grace. And I think it demonstrates to me that grace is giveness, that it comes free, that it is gratis, like a gift. And when I'm willing to open that gift and share that gift, then I receive it. Jan Richardson wrote a poem. It's called Blessing in the Chaos. I'd like you to listen to it and reflect on what it feels like inside your heart mind. And when you open it, when you open your creative self, think about this poem. It says, to all that is chaotic in you, let there come silence. Let there be a calming of the clamoring, a stilling of the voices that have laid their claim on you. Let there be an opening into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos, where you find the peace you did not think possible, and see what shimmers within the storm. Take that in. Think about that. And yes, I will put it in the newsletter, the next one that goes out. But I ask you after listening to that poem, what really matters? This is your life. There is an opening beneath the seeming chaos. Should we not live it honestly and gently, generously and joyfully? And if we're not doing so, if we're not sharing that creativity that is our inborn truth, if we're not sharing that, how are we going to be truly helpful? And how will we build a better world? Our creativity, the act of making something, and the imagination these things require are more important than ever. Are we rising to the creative challenge that we are now facing? all over our country, all over our world, we are being called to become teachers and students, innovators and inventors, and yes, artists in our own personalized and individual way. How do we access this well of open-hearted creativity? And how do we encourage that in others? By connecting with our own creativity, we acknowledge our truth as spiritual beings, one in the love, light, power, and presence. In creating, we are ourselves recreated and refreshed and renewed. In this awareness, we become more aware of our wholeness and our holiness. I'm asking that we all find ways to express our creativity as we connect with our deepest true self. Today, I ask that we make a commitment to share love and creativity in unity, in peace, to build a better world. So, for meditation, in Ecclesiastes we read, there's an appointed time for everything, a time for every matter under the heavens. So this is the time we open our heart, we open our mind. This is the time that we remember the love and the creativity that we are. And we affirm we are open to share it. So if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. Focus your attention on your breathing. Follow the natural rhythm, the gentle rise and fall of each breath. Feel it coming and going, ever so quietly, ever so gently. And let it guide and carry you deeper and deeper within. Become aware of your own heart space. Allow it to open. That gentle rise and fall of each breath. Let it carry you into that silent, open space of your heart. And now look within. Look within to the Holy One. You are safe. You are secure. You are confident. I am yours, God, mind, body, and spirit. I feel your presence. I feel the safety of your wisdom, the comfort of your love, the strength of your power. And the gentle rise and fall of each breath carries you deeper and deeper within to that space, within to that love. And you acknowledge within you the true creative being that you are, and how that is shared with the divine love that you are. And the Holy Spirit within you is bathing you in that light, in the same presence, in the same power, in the same expression, acknowledging who you are, affirming that that creativity within you is in everyone that you love, everyone that you know, and everyone that you think about. Feel this within your heart. Feel it now. And focus your attention on what it is you are called to share, what it is that you are called to do. And allow your intention to be one with that call, one with that goal, one with that beauty and truth of who you are. Feel relaxed, feel guided, feel comfortable, feel at peace. Know that you have the creativity within you, the creativity within you to do what you are guided to do. to share the beauty that you are guided to share, to be the love that you are. You feel your holy presence. You accept it. The perfect love that casts out all fear, all negativity, all conflict. You feel that love. You absorb it. You accept it. And you know it consumes anything that is a distraction. It is gone. It is wiped out. It is released. It is let go. And you are present. Present to the creative being that you are. Present to being truly helpful. Sharing your love, sharing your creativity, and doing so with a light heart and an open mind and love for all the human race and all living beings. You are one with all life. And now you will go back again, paying attention to the gentle rise and fall of each breath, to the beauty that you are, the presence that you are, the love that you are, the creativity that you are. And in gratitude, you say, amen and amen. I am love. I am creative. And together we will share in music, in song, in beauty. And so it is.